Welcome to Monster Monday. Okay, it is time to travel. Ugh, it's on the ground. To Nilbog. To Nilbog. Troll 2. Holy shit, I get to talk about this fucking movie. This movie. Now, there's people out there that just don't get this kind of stuff, right? My dad is one of those people. He just does not for the life of him understand why anyone would like a bad movie. And I don't know, man. I mean, I've mentioned this before. I think it was a Stanford thing, where they studied this and they said that people who like trash cinema tend to have a higher IQ. Who knows if that's true? I'm definitely not trying to claim that I'm smarter because I watch trash movies at all. I just found the study interesting, and I am probably trying to like pat myself on the back and be like, "You're a genius because you watch dumb movies." No, I don't know what it is, but I do love this shit. I do, and there's definitely a lot of bad films that are just bad, and then there's ones like this that are genuinely entertaining. Now, whether this was the director's intention or not, he claims not. He tries to say that this was meant to be a serious, straightforward horror film. I mean, I don't know why his name isn't on it. Maybe because it's more appealing. I forget. I did watch that documentary, Best Worst Movie, that was made by, what was it, Michael Stevenson or Stephenson or something. Wasn't that his name? Michael Stevenson. Wow, I was right. He's actually the one that makes that documentary. And you want to talk... I get so much shit for this. For my Shining. Courtney Mead. What was that kid's name from the Shining fucking miniseries that I always talk about? I want to punch in the face. And I get shit from some of his subscribers being like, "Jason's terrible. You talk about punching kids in the face." Well, if you think that was terrible, you're about to think this is terrible too. This is yet another kid that's face is so punchable. Oh my god. The kid in this movie. The way... Oh god. But he's so fucking funny. Like, this movie, it really is hilarious. It really is. Like, it's like comedy genius. Now, if the director was going for that, which he claims he wasn't, but can you make a movie like this? That's the question you've got to ask yourself. Can you make a movie like this on purpose? I don't think so. Maybe, but I don't think so. Like, why it's funny to me is because you can tell they were serious. It's like one of those things where, and it is kind of fucked up to laugh at someone's failures, right? Like, it's like almost making fun of like someone who's like mentally handicapped or something. It's like they can't help themselves. They clearly, don't have it all together. And this film is kind of like that. It's that like beautiful mistake. Like when you watch it, you're like, oh man, it's like The Disaster Artist, right? The Room, right? It's that kind of movie where it's like you watch it and you just think like, how did this get made? But God, I'm glad it exists. Like, imagine if this film was better. Just kind of like mediocre. That would be so lame in comparison to what we got. So I'm glad that this film isn't mediocre. I'm glad that this film is an absolute abysmal train wreck. The one good aspect of the film, though, is there's some good makeup in it. Like when the guy's like growing into a tree and whatnot, and the way it's like growing out of his legs, and when the kid like wakes up in the car and he's like, "Mom, pull over, I'm sick." Sick? He's like pouring chlorophyll green, as Grandpa calls it. That's beyond sick, buddy. But like he's getting stabbed through the chest and he's screaming, which is only good acting in the entire film from this kid, is when he's screaming in agony from being stabbed. Probably someone on the set really did stab him because they wanted to punch his face so bad. And that's why his acting looks so good. Who knows? The music, oh my god. And then of course, I have to mention this for Kaylee. This fucking troll right here. It's funny because we watched this together, of course, and when I put it on, she'd seen it before, And she like immediately started talking about like, oh my god, Jason, there's this one, and I knew immediately, right when she said it, I was like, immediately knew what she was gonna say, and I was like, no, just stop right there. I'm like, I already know. I'm like, and I like picked this up, and I was like, this troll right here, and she's like, yeah, or I shouldn't even say troll, it's a goblin. There's no fucking trolls in Troll 2. Okay, so of course there isn't. Of course there isn't. Of course it's goblins. Why wouldn't it be? Clearly this was not meant to be Troll 2. This is not a sequel to John Carl Buechler's fucking movie at all. But regardless, any film, it's just, yeah, this, there's something about this troll mask right here that is so funny. It looks nothing like the other ones. That's why. It's so fucking lifeless. And the way that it kind of comes on screen, right? Because they kind of scan and they're showing the other goblins, and there's like, they all look okay, like the, you know, whatever. And then there's this one, and it almost looks like, it's almost like someone put a mask on a stick and is like just kind of putting it in the shot. There's something about it that's so funny, and I've always found it funny. So as soon as she started mentioning like, oh, there's one, I knew immediately she was going to mention that fucking goblin because it's so funny looking. So yeah, I had to give a shout out to I don't know. This guy got a name? He should. We should name him if he doesn't. I don't know. What do you guys think? Come up with a good name below for this fucking character. Holy hell. He probably has a name at this point though. This movie's got such a cult following. I'd be surprised if he didn't. Or maybe he does in the credits. I think it all just says like Goblin 1, 2, and 3 or some shit, maybe. Anyway, I literally put punchable kid face and teeth. That was my note. Punchable kid face and teeth. Okay, so they're doing they're kind of mimicking Princess Bride. The grandpa's tucking the kid in. He's telling him the bedtime story. We find out grandpa's, of course, dead, but it doesn't matter. Grandpa Seth is telling this little kid about this story of the troll or the goblins, and this guy wakes up to this girl who he's like, he was struck by her beauty and this and that, and the girl's very attractive. I mean, she's a pretty girl, don't get me wrong, but they like for some reason decided to put the fakest, worst looking freckles on her cheeks. They're clearly like penciled in, like horribly so. What's the decision here? Why put this here? Because it makes it look more fairy tale-esque that she has freckles? Did the director say, I like girls with freckles, put freckles on her? And they're like, sir, we don't have the makeup person here. Fuck it, just get me a Sharpie. Freckles, like, they're so fake, they're so obviously fake. And the girl's good looking, so why not just use her? Just be like, she's a fair, beautiful woman, and then they show a beautiful woman. The end. Like, why does she have to have the freckles? I don't understand. Nothing in this movie makes any sense. Nothing. No decision. No plot line. No character decision. No anything. It's a remarkable film in that way. It's a remarkable film. It's like they failed on every single technical level imaginable. Like inside and outside the film. It is. It's a remarkable feat. You don't see movies like that very often. That also remain entertaining on their own right. You don't need Mystery Science Theater 3000 there to make fun of it. Like watching Manos, The Hands of Fate, to me, would not be entertaining without, Tom Servo, Crow, and Joel, right? Joel's at that point? Or is that Mike? Manos is Joel. Is it? Fuck. It's been a while since I've watched that episode. It's Joel. Anyway, but that movie would not be as entertaining. Now, it would be kind of funny. I mean, Torgo's theme and all that. But all I'd be doing, if I watched Manos, The Hands of Fate, is I'd be playing the commentary for Mystery Science Theater 3000. Had I not seen Mystery Science Theater 3000's riff on it, and I watched Manos, I'd watch about 5 minutes of it and go, this is just fucking dreadful. It is genuinely abysmal. And yes, Manos is a worse film than this. It seems impossible, but it is a worse film than this. This film has at least some good things about it, right? As I said, the makeup, whatever, but Manos is a whole different level of shit. It's not entertaining, it's not anything. Torgo's a hilarious character. But outside of that, the film is dreadful. I'm glad it exists for Mystery Science to have done it. But this one doesn't need Mystery Science Theater 3000 in there. It doesn't need fucking a man and two robots making fun of it for it to be funny. It's just funny on its own. Much like, now this is funnier to me than The Room is. I watched The Room one time, and I was like, yeah, that was funny. Like, I see, like, I get it. The acting's bad, and the decisions are wacky, and the sex scenes are gross, and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, I get it. You know, but with this one, I've watched this one probably, I've watched this movie, oh God, somewhere upwards of about 10 times. I've watched this movie a lot. You know, I mean, that's not like high. It's not like 1408, The Shining, Halloween status that I've seen hundreds of times. But I've seen this movie a decent amount. And it's always funny. And this time watching it with Kaylee was fucking great, man. Because we were just laughing and pointing out. This is such a great film to put on with your friends. And while I don't drink or do anything like that, this is that kind of fucking film you want to throw on with your friends, especially ones who have not seen it and who have a good sense of humor, who aren't people who are going to be critiquing the whole film the whole time and being like, well, this isn't a masterpiece. What is this shit? And why are you making me sit through such garbage? No, you're fucking lucky to sit through such garbage, you unappreciative prick. So, you know, if you show this to somebody and they don't get it, this is the kind of movie, this is like a good tester film for me. Like, if I throw this on, and typically the kind of person I'm going to get along with has already seen this fucking movie. But if they haven't seen this movie and I do throw it on, it's one of those films. It's like a Hard Ticket to Hawaii or something, where I throw that on and it's like, if you're not laughing within 5 minutes, you're dead inside. I shouldn't even say 5 minutes. I should say 1 minute. Hard Ticket to Hawaii maybe takes a couple more minutes than this movie does. Like, this movie's horrible right out the gate. Hard Ticket to Hawaii is kind of like, oh, what the fuck is going on? And then things start to become hilarious. If you haven't seen an Andy Sardaris film, you've got to do yourself a favor. In fact, all 12 of his films are in a collection called, like, Guns, Girls, and something. They're all together. They used to be. Look again on Amazon. Look for Andy Sardaris's, like, his entire filmography. They sell all 12 of them together. I wish I had it, like, close to where I could grab it. It's in my collection somewhere. I think it's behind some of these. But all 12 films for $5. And, man, you got Picasso Trigger, and you've got Hard Ticket to Hawaii, and you got Malibu Express. You gotta watch this shit. This is good stuff. If you like Troll 2, Hard Ticket to Hawaii is an absolute must shit film to watch. You know, and there's other ones as well, but if you haven't seen the Sardaris collection, look for it. It's $5. It's like a yellow cover. It's got like a girl in the front. Check it out. You can't go wrong for $5 for 12 films, and it's worth every penny for sure. But those are the kinds of movies you show people and you're like, are you cool? Let's find out how cool you are. Mystery Science Theater is another example. Like, you throw on Mystery Science, and if people are laughing, good stuff. If they're like, what is this shit? I actually showed someone Mystery Science Theater 3000, and they were actually complaining that the robots and the dude were talking because they couldn't pay attention to the movie. They're like, "What? God, can they shut up for a second? I'm trying to listen to the plot of this. Like, I'm trying to watch the film. It's really annoying that they're talking through it." And I'm like, what? You're trying to listen to the plot of pod people, of cave dwellers, of these fucking abysmal movies that they watch? Really? That's what's happening here? They just can't disconnect themselves from it like this. Patrol 2. Woo, baby. This movie's just wonderful. What were they, Grandpa? Half man, half plant, a goblin's favorite food. The mom in this might be the scariest thing. Okay, no, the scariest thing is the shop owner who's like, bacon? Ugh. What are you, crazy? We're all vegetarians here in Nilbog. That guy is genuinely scary. Might give the best performance in the entire film. In fact, I would say he does. He is genuinely scary. He's kind of giving the audience what the director's intending with him. He is freaky. He's an unsettling kind of guy. But the mom, her look in her eyes, and like the way she delivers lines, and the way she just acts and looks at all times in this movie. Whoo, man, her, not only is her acting bad, but she is just, There's something about that woman. She's very unsettling to look at. She has this like really like lost, lifeless, soulless look on her face at all times. Like when she asks her husband, like, "What are the goblins?" And the way she looks in her eyes are all wide and whew. Oh man, there's so many funny scenes with her though. Like when she tries to give her kid a sandwich and she like hands it back to him and he doesn't take it and she just like looks at it with such disappointment. Like, can't believe he didn't take my sandwich. Okay, I guess I'll just go die now. The look on her face is so fucking funny. But there is one look on one other character's face that is 10 times funnier and is my personal favorite scene of this entire film. And oh no, it's not the oh my god guy. No. Yes, I know that's the most famous scene from this entire film. They're eating her and then they're going to eat me too. No, that scene's funny mostly because of the angle, because he couldn't possibly even be seeing what's happening upstairs. So I don't even understand why she runs upstairs for that scene. That scene makes no sense. Not that any of this movie makes any sense. But she purposely goes upstairs to then be attacked and turned into... And he's commenting on it like he can see it. But we actually are shown... We know that he can't see it. But then we're actually shown the camera angle that confirms he can't see shit of what's going on up there. So then he's like, oh my god, like they're eating her. And it's like, you can't tell what they're doing. You have no clue what's happening up there. So that scene is so funny for a reason that most people never even mention. They always just talk about his acting and his line delivery and the written dialogue into itself. It is funny, right? I get it. Trust me. It's fucking funny. The way he delivers that shit is hilarious. It's awful. The way he zooms in, the little fly on his face, whatever. It's all super funny. But the best thing in the entire film for me, this is a tough bar because there's so many ridiculous things in this film, but for some reason this is the one that always stuck out to me as the funniest part. And this is probably not even so funny to anybody, but it's when they get to the house to do the house swap with the family and they walk away without really saying anything to them. And they drive off, and the father's trying to be like, it has all the modern conveniences and all that stuff. I love the dad. I love the dentist, right? He's the dentist in real life. I love him. I love his personality. I love him in the documentary. He acts exactly the same. He's got such a great spirit to him. He's so funny. I love him. I just love him. He's my favorite character in the film. He's my favorite part of the film. He's just great. He's a very lovable guy. But it is in that scene when they drive off and the family starts heading towards the house, but our little kid here, our little actor here, what the fuck is his name? Why can't I think of his name? They say it like 6 trillion times in this movie. Now granted, I watched this movie like almost a week ago at this point, but I've seen it like 10 times. God, everything about this movie is so fucking like hilarious, yet still forgettable. Even though you could never forget, it's weird. What does he say his fucking name is? Jesus, I cannot believe I can't think of this kid's name right now. But it is what it is. I just reviewed a bunch of shit back to back, so my brain's a little fried. Forgive me, whatever the hell his name is. He walks forward and he gives them the most disapproving, disgusted face I've ever seen for whatever reason. Like, it's basically like, how dare you be so rude to us? We were just trying to be nice to you. And he just like, he takes like 2 steps forward and he's just like, he like his mouth's open. I don't know what it is about that look. The way he's so disappointed with them. It kills me every time. I laugh out loud every single time. I feel like you could rewind that scene and play it for me on loop 100 times in a row, and I feel like I'd laugh every time. There's something about how he looks and just kind of the expression on his face and how I read the scene. I think that that's another part of these kinds of movies, is like filling in your own headcanon, or like adding things to the films, or noticing things and attaching things to them that other people might not see. That's it for me. Like when I see that, I start getting in the kid's head and I start getting in that scene and I think about like how he's reacting and what's going through his head and the reality of that scene and everything. I don't know. I probably take this shit way too seriously, but I really do start kind of writing in my own material within it to make it even funnier for myself. But okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. We get the great workout scene with Trish, I think, right? That's the daughter's name, and she is working out. So we do this rad workout montage video, and then her boyfriend comes in the room and scares her, climbs into her window. What the hell did this idiot think was going to happen here? But his name is Elliot. He has the same name as my daughter, so that was easy to remember. And she kicks him in the balls, to which he replies, "What are you, crazy? Are you trying to turn me into a homo?" Trying to turn me into a homo. I guess when you get kicked in the balls, and your balls, don't work anymore, you're now a homosexual? Is that how that works? I think the way that scene's supposed to play is like, you're going to make me hate women if you treat me like this, and I'm going to have no other option but to be a homosexual. You've eliminated all female options by abusing me, and now I have to fuck men. That must be what he means. Because if you're kicked in the balls, it does not turn you into a homo. I mean, you may look like a pussy, writhing in pain, grabbing at your balls, but I don't think that makes you gay. But yeah, that line always has killed me. But anyways, then there's the dialogue exchange between Trish and Elliot, where I think that's her name, right? Please, God, let that at least be right. Where she's basically telling him, like, my dad thinks you're good for nothing and all this shit. And he's like, oh, I'll come with you. And she's like, okay, I'll let them know. Oh, it will be wonderful. You just said 5 seconds ago, her dad thinks he's a fucking good for nothing loser. He wants nothing to do with him. But then he's like, I'm coming along on your trip, uninvited, and you're just gonna like be there tomorrow. 100% he's gonna let you go. What? What a jump. What a jump that scene is. My dad thinks you're a piece of shit, but absolutely come on vacation. And then he's like, what about my boys? And she's like, if you bring your boys, I will never talk to you again. All this stuff. And throughout the film, she continues to have to keep going back to this. Like, he brings his boys again, and she gives him the finger, which are we supposed to believe he actually sees this finger? I don't. Their reaction doesn't make it seem like it, but her flipping him off, I don't know. I always find it funny because it's so far away. He's like, is that even her? But yeah, like, then she has to have her dance sequence, which rivals Crispin Glover and Jesse Walsh from fucking Nightmare on Elm Street 2. It's dances, which are my two, of course, favorite dances in horror, but this might be my third favorite, where she starts with the fucking finger glasses, the ultimate. That's how you start dances in this time period. This movie's from the 90s, motherfucker. So, wow. But yeah, the glasses are great. And then she goes into this whole monologue about how she needs to tell Elliot that he needs to ditch his boys, otherwise she's done. You're gonna take the lovely, Holly. Fuck, I think it's Holly, not Trish. Holly. Fuck, I don't know anybody's names in this movie outside of Elliot. Holy hell. Oh, and Grandpa Seth. Wow. As many times I've seen this movie, you'd think I'd know everyone's names by now, but I don't. Wow. That makes me an asshole. Should have wrote them down. Fuck me. Anyways, I honestly didn't write them down because I thought I'd remember them. What an asshole I am. But anyways, the way she's talking about that and all that stuff is so funny. I'm already at 25 minutes. I feel like I haven't talked about shit. Oh my God, what? I can't spend too much talking about this dumbass movie. But God, it's so funny. Then, oh my god, I'm like this much into my notes of like this much notes. Oh my god, I gotta hurry up. Okay. Hey, let's see. They get there and they say, no one's around at this time of night. It is clearly broad daylight out. Like broad daylight. It is straight up like 4 in the fucking afternoon. This time of night. Hilarious. They didn't even try like day for night on this. Nope, nope, nope. It is full on broad daylight. And then they go into the house and they get some southern hospitality, and there's green frosting on everything. There's like a layer of what looks like fucking, as I said, green frosting, but maybe it's like toothpaste, and it's across the corn, and the sister's gonna eat it, and I don't know what the hell's going. I don't know what that food is. I don't know what any of the food in this movie is, but none of it is even slightly appetizing. What the fuck? Who did the food on this movie? Hilarious. Moving on. And so then, of course, he goes and he pisses on it, but you can't piss on hospitality. And then one of the funniest scenes in the entire film is when he goes to take his belt off, and the kid's like, "What are you going to do to me, Daddy?" And he's like, "I'm going to tighten my belt loop by 1 notch. So that I don't feel hunger pangs. All right, you really want to start a war like doing a hunger strike? Well, I'll tell you something. I got experience in this. I used to suffer from hunger when I was a kid, so, basically I have an upper hand here." He's like, "You want to start a war with me? You started with the wrong guy." I love that's the jump. I pissed on the food, so this is me declaring a hunger strike, but oh, little do you know, little kid, I used to suffer from hunger when I was a child, so I'm going to just tighten my belt loop, and you're going to be beaten to the ground on this whole hunger strike thing. Which, of course, is forgotten in the morning, because then the kid wakes up, he kisses his dad, and he's like, "Hey, Mom, Dad." And then they're like, "Oh, where's the food in this house?" And he's like, "Oh, well, we'll go get eggs and everything." Didn't you just say you were having a hunger strike? Where did that go? So funny. You see this? You can't piss on hospitality. Great stuff, of course. I mean, these are obvious lines, but you gotta mention them. I love how the dude, the oh my god guy, calls the goblins dwarves when they are just as tall as him. Hilarious. I love when he sees the chick running through the woods. He does that thing that I've talked about in movies in the past where the guy just takes off running after the girl, like, "Hey, where are you going? Where are you going?" A chick's running, so what do? You chase her. Though. Yeah, that will work. She's already running for a reason, and your fucking decision is to chase her. Really? That's your plan? Lord, it reminds me of fucking Ghostbusters, right? That was your plan? Get her? That is exactly it. That's your plan? Get her? You're just gonna run after her? Jesus Christ. And then we get the fucking the witch in this movie who's controlling everything, and who God knows what her fucking name is. Sounds like something out of the Smurfs or something. Gilgamesh, something at the end. She says some really long, outrageous name, and this girl acts completely with her eyebrows. She's like, "Yeah." If you watch her eyebrows in this movie, they never stop moving for 1 second. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's so fucking funny. And then we get the goblin, reveal of Nilbog in the mirror as Goblin, which of course is supposed to be kind of like a play off of Red Rum from The Shining. Doesn't land like it does in The Shining. I wonder why. Is it not that this film wasn't directed by Stanley Kubrick? And they have a sermon in town that everyone attends, which there's only like 20 fucking people in town, 23 people or something. When he comes in there, he's given a sermon about, people eating meat and this and that. Like, what are the sermons in this town about on a week-to-week basis? I want to know. It seems like that's real. Like, he kind of said everything they have to say. But then again, I feel the same way about any church. Like, I'm always like, how do you guys talk about the same book, like, every fucking week? Every week? Every single week they go and they sit there and the guy reads from the same book. It's like, One book. Do you imagine going to a book club and all you ever did was review the same book? Would you think you would go to a book club where that would happen? Do you really feel like it doesn't matter what book it is? I don't care if it's fucking It or The Stand or something. No book is that interesting or that long to talk about it week in, week out, debating every single little thing in it. No. That is one of the many reasons why I would never go to a church. It's like, we're still on this book? There a sequel to this? And yeah, I love how Holly finds Elliot. They're like parked out there and they never move, and then the one dude like goes off on foot for some reason. It's like the place you're at, like your apartment that you got with you moves, and then Holly like walks there, and they're that close to Nilbog that they decide like to just hang out there and not go and try to find. I don't know what the fuck. They're lost, and that's why they try to flag them down. It's like, jump in the car and follow them. I don't got any explanation. God, this chair is really killing me right now. Holy hell, I've been sitting in it too damn long. But yeah, I guess Holly finds Elliot somehow. She walks up and knocks on his camper door. How she has any idea where he is and how she got there, who the fuck knows? And then the dad comes by and somehow has eagle vision to notice his daughter and that dude standing there. So he comes and he gets him. This guy has some serious vision. The potion that the witch gives the oh my god kid and then the girl who goes upstairs and gets eaten seems to work drastically different on people, even though it's the exact same potion given to them the exact same time. She immediately turns into mush and he turns into a plant. Why it works differently on both of them, who knows? Maybe it works different on females and males. I have no fucking clue. And Elliot is part of the family now. I love that. As soon as Elliot walks away from his boys, all of a sudden, like, the mom is stoked. She's like, oh, Elliot, I knew you had it in you. And the dad's like, all right. Like, what? I love it. The writing is amazing. The goblin breaking through the mirror and then, like, it being done in reverse and then she coming back with her hand cut off. Great idea. Really cool. I like the execution there as well. So that scene actually is kind of cool when the goblin gets sent back through the mirror. And then the dude says he's going to send Seth back to hell. Why was Grandpa Seth in hell? Also, when they pull over and they're like talking to that they don't even talk to the homeless guy, but when the kid goes up and he thinks that that dude's Grandpa Seth, and then like the way the family reacts to him, especially the sister, is totally fucked up. She's like looking at him, she's like, ugh, like this dude is on the side of the road, he's hurting, man, he needs help, and you just like are grossed out by him and don't even acknowledge his existence. Really messed up. Really messed up. And the 4-leaf clover fucking like scar or mole or whatever the hell it is. What is that? Then we get the erotic popcorn scene, which, holy, what the fuck is this? What is this scene? And what does it even mean? And why is it scary or interesting? Or it's hilarious, I'll give it that. We find out that the stuff she has in her little hangout is stones from Stonehenge. So this is straight up like Halloween 3 here, Season of the Witch. I guess this is connected universe to that movie. She's part of Colonel Cochran's master plan. I love how her teeth go from dirty to not dirty to dirty throughout the film. There's scenes where they're totally clean, and then other scenes after that, like within the same scene, where they're dark and marked up again. Really funny. The double-decker bologna sandwich that he bites into, and is hilarious, but then he like throws it at him and then they put their hands on Stonehenge and it's actually the power of goodness that defeats them. But he bit into a bologna sandwich. I guess that just grosses them out, and then the real power is actually the hands on. But they can't do anything about it. Like once he throws the bologna sandwiches at him, they can't just run at him and kill him. And then when they put the hands on there, they're all just falling apart and whatever. Like, Who the fuck knows? And then when you look around this kid's room, I love how he has like sports teams from every state. It's like you can't tell where the hell they live because he has like every team on his walls from all these different states. Not typical. And then they eat his mom at the end, so it kind of has a dark ending, and he screams, and that's that. So yeah, I mean, there's so many. I mean, you could go down the list of all the really funny, but I want to know what your guys' favorite lines from this hilariously awful film. I could go on for like another 30 minutes talking about all my favorite shit in this film, but yeah, I mean, I mentioned all this stuff. I really, really want to mention off the top of my head. I might have missed some stuff, but 35 minutes in, I got to call this quits. But this guy is hilarious, and I do love that he's at the end. How? I don't know. I thought they defeated him, but who cares? This movie makes no goddamn sense. Yeah, what's your favorite line? What's your favorite scene? What's your favorite gag from this film? And as I said, the Andy Sidaris film collection on Amazon, $5. It was. Find it. It's gold. Watch Hard Ticket to Hawaii, if nothing else. You can find it on YouTube for sure. Let me know. Adios.